What happens when you remove rules? No parents, no teachers, no laws, just human beings, alone. In 1965, 6 teenage boys were stranded on a remote island in the Pacific Ocean. No adults, no supervision, no help. For more than a year, they were completely cut off from the world. Many people believe that without authority, humans become violent. That order collapses, that chaos takes over. But what actually happened on that island tells a very different and deeply unsettling story about human nature. This is the real-life story often called the true Lord of the Flies. The story begins in Tonga, a small island nation in the South Pacific. 6 boys aged between 13 and 16 were bored. They attended a strict boarding school. Rules were rigid. Life felt suffocating, so they made a reckless decision. They stole a small fishing boat, planning nothing more than a short adventure. But the ocean doesn't forgive mistakes. A sudden storm destroyed the boat's sail and rudder. The boys had no way to steer, no way to signal for help. For 8 terrifying days, they drifted at sea. They survived on rainwater and raw fish, sunburnt, dehydrated, exhausted. Many thought they would die. Until one morning, land appeared. The island was called Ata, uninhabited, rocky, remote. No fresh water streams, no animals, no shelter. But to the boys, it was survival. They swam ashore, collapsed on the sand, and realized something terrifying. No one knew where they were. No rescue was coming. They were completely alone. The first days were chaos, hunger, fear, arguments. This is where most people expect violence to begin. But something unexpected happened. Instead of turning on each other, the boys made a decision. They would survive together. They divided tasks. One group gathered food, another built shelter, another kept watch. They created a fire system, ensuring flames never went out. They collected rainwater using hollowed logs. They learned how to trap birds. Slowly, order formed. There was no leader chosen by force, no hierarchy built on fear. Instead, decisions were made collectively. They established rules. No fighting arguments must end with reconciliation. Everyone works, no one eats alone. If a conflict arose, they didn't punish. They separated, calmed down, then apologized. This wasn't chaos. This was self-governance. And it worked. But the island was still dangerous. One day, one of the boys fell from a cliff and broke his leg. In many survival stories, this is where abandonment happens. But not here. The group carried him, fed him, cared for him for months until he healed. No one was left behind. They weren't just surviving, they were becoming something else. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months. They spent 15 months on the island. They sang together, prayed together, maintained routine. They even built a small gym area using stones. Hope never left them. They believed rescue would come. And one day, it did. A passing fisherman noticed smoke rising from the island. When he landed, he expected skeletons. Instead, he found healthy boys, organized, calm, alive. The world was shocked. This was supposed to be a real-life Lord of the Flies. But there was no savagery, no collapse, no madness, only cooperation. The story became famous because it challenged a dangerous assumption, that humans are naturally violent without authority. That civilization is the only thing holding us together. But these boys proved something else, that empathy, cooperation, and shared purpose can be stronger than fear. And that sometimes it's power structures that create monsters, not freedom. We often tell stories about chaos, about how quickly humans fall apart. But this story forces us to ask a harder question. What if we've been wrong? What if the real danger isn't the absence of rules, but the wrong kind of authority? Because when 6 boys were left alone on an island, they didn't become monsters. They became human.